Come on up. Okay. What's your name?
Ricardo.
What?
Ricardo.
Ricardo. Where are you from?
Mexico.
Mexico. And you used to live in China?
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to be living in China, and for this article, I think that I'll be in favor of the Philippines because I think that right now China is in a really desperate career, or something to say like that, to look for resources, and I think that being able to find it in a small island like this, it's really good for them. I was living in Beijing the last semester, and I was working for a company that was in charge of imports and exports of woods, but they were just buying from Mexico and other Latin American countries, and I saw that they were just like buying, trying to get really desperate many resources, and I think that they're really big, yes, and I think that they're using this huge power just to intimidate the Philippines because it's a small country and they think that they can almost take everything they want. So I think that Philippines have the right over this island, not over because it's part of their territory, but I think that it's part of the respect that China should give to the Philippines.
Sure. Well, I guess the question is, even beyond the issue of who is right, again, like, maybe is there a way to adjudicate in an international forum, right? To let international bodies adjudicate. But sometimes nations do not want to go to the ICJ because they're very nationalistic, right?
Yeah.
When you were in China, did you feel a lot of nationalism? Like China's always right, and we're going on up.
Yeah, they're always like that, especially with Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong?
Yeah, they're really nationalist. One thing that they were always telling me is that once they had one big problem with the United States because they were saying like, okay, the Chinese people are always consuming all the resources. And Mao Zedong said, no, the Chinese people have 2 hands and 1 mouth. That means that they can build more than they can consume. So they're always using this phrase, they're really nationalistic. They say that their country is the best in the world. And yeah, I would say that they're like that.
Okay. And then, so it's strong nationalism, and you think, so nationalism can sometimes conflict with liberalism, right?
Yeah.
Right. But then, Mexico is also very nationalistic.
Yeah.
But they don't want to but they don't want to invade California.
No.
Okay. Why not? California's
No.
so nice. And they already all speak Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo está? Okay. How come you don't want to invade California like China's invading Philippines?
Well, the problem.
How come you don't want to take over Monterey?
Well, the main problem is that there was a war for that part of territory, but at the end, the president of Mexico from that time sold that part of territory to the United States. And right now it would be, in my opinion, very stupid by the Mexican part to try to invade the United States. Yeah.
How about invade Guatemala?
Guatemala, well,
That's smaller than you.
yeah, it's smaller, but Mexico, it's neutral.
Okay.
We don't want to attack anybody. We don't want anybody to attack us. We're neutral.
Right, we're a cool country.
Yeah.
Alright, go Mexico. Away. Okay. So you hear what he said, right? So like, we don't want to invade anybody. We don't want anybody to invade us. We want to be a cool country. And so by being like that, actually Mexico has the highest growth rate in Latin America, right? In the past decade. So they're beating like Brazil, especially after the World Cup, right? Yeah, like you're kind of like, yeah, just, oh, okay, so, so they're working hard, they're economically growing, and people want to invest in Mexico, okay? So there's incentives to following the rules, okay? At the same time, you want to think about why is it that it's very difficult for countries like, Russia, China, and Korea to adjudicate in the ICJ, okay? Why is it so difficult for Koreans to say, like, maybe we're not always right. Maybe we should let a third party decide. Do you think that's fair? Or no? So even if ICJ was totally fair, then you would adjudicate to ICJ, Tokyo, or no? Okay. 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 I think what Ms. Park said is very common. This notion that like these international bodies are very biased, and because of that, there's little trust. Okay. So that's a big concern. So let's think about how we can build trust in international institutions. Okay. Okay. I think that's basically it. Did everybody sign up for the discussion? Okay. So again, we have to do this every week. So who's gonna volunteer for week 3? So in week 3, we're doing. Okay. Tuesday or Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday? Okay. Is anybody doing Tuesday? Okay, so maybe that's it. Okay, people have 2 or 3 students per day. Okay? So even if this full, that's great. Right, no class on Friday. Instead, we're going to have a field trip. We're going to make up a field trip later this month. So that's the second issue. Oh, so I need 2 volunteers for Tuesday and 2 volunteers for Friday. Okay, so you can volunteer for more days. So right now I just have 1 volunteer for Tuesday and just 1 volunteer for Friday, right? Okay, but more the merrier. The second thing is that again, no class on Friday. Tradition. You want to have a field trip and some speakers. So think about what kind of field trips and get speakers you want to do. Okay, so you can give me some suggestions like you did for points. And if you double points, you actually invite them and get them to come. there's anything else. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so don't forget, no class on Tuesday. Week 3. Did everybody buy the book? Yes. Raise your hand if you bought the book. Alright, good for you. Who did not buy? Okay, you need to buy. They're waiting for you. It's cartoon other one. I got the cheap rate. Okay? He's saying like, give me the money, I buy it for you. Okay? Okay? Right, internet. Right, it's very thin. Okay. Okay, so next week is Carnes and Myths. Read chapter 2 and 3. Okay? And then we're gonna discuss it on Tuesday and Friday. For those who are low English, read half of chapter 2 and half of chapter 3. For those who are high English, read all chapter 2 and 3. You understand, right? So, okay. It's all in the syllabus. Okay, the final thing is we have a few new people. I want to do one more speed meeting, okay, with new people. All right, and then we'll be done.